Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The Mamba is one of the most popular drivers out there, especially for slower arm speeds, beginners, maybe even older people out there too. This thing crushes. I've got 5 different versions of the Mamba. Who knows? Maybe there's a Mamba out there for you, no matter what arm speed you are. Let's go test these out. Let's go. There's a reason every time I go out and I play with some guys older than me, they all are bagging the Mamba. The reason is get easy distance out of this, and you don't have to have an 80-mile-an-hour arm speed to do it. The numbers on a Mamba are 11, 6, -5, 1. Now I've got it in 5 different plastics here. We're going to see if any of these have a little bit more stability or less stability than the other ones. Let's go test them out. Now, all joking aside, the Mamba is a great disc. No matter how old or young, how fast or slow your arm speed is, you can find a really good use with these. So we're going to test these out. We're going to start with the good old faithful Star Mamba here. Let's see how this one flies on a nice flat release. Look at that. Did you see a -5 turn out of that one? Because I sure didn't. That thing went super dead straight with a nice reliable finish. Definitely not flying like the -5-1. Now let's go up to the Halo. Now most of us know Halo discs are usually more on the overstable side. Let's see if this flies any different than that Star one. Getting a slight turn out of that, but flying very close to the Star. All right, guys, so if you're scared of discs that have a -5 turn on them, don't, because they're not flying like it. Now, if you really are looking for a -5 turn, usually DX plastic is the way to go. So let's try throwing this DX plastic Mamba. There we go. There's that -5 turn. Oh, what a great, that potentially could be a really good roller. All right, no surprise there. DX plastic is usually more on the understable side, so right out of the box, you're definitely getting that -5 turn. Now let's try the Glow Mamba. All right, there we go. Getting some good turn, but then flattens out. So that's pretty good. So there, we're somewhere between the DX and the Star plastic. Really good turn out of it. Now let's check out the Duo Mamba. Now, if you haven't heard, the Duo Mamba is a metal, half metal flake, half Star plastic, and this thing looks sick with that ring of snake heads on there. Have no idea how this is going to fly, but usually metal flake is more on the overstable side. So let's see how this throws. Oh, that thing looks sick being thrown. Holy cow, no turn out of it. Nice finish at the end. Wow, I'd say 3 out of the 5 I threw definitely didn't have that -5 turn to it. The other 2 had somewhere between like a -6 turn and a -3 turn. So definitely interesting results. Let's keep tossing these. Don't knock it till you try it, because some of these Mambas are legit out there. You might be making fun of your older buddies out there who are throwing these, but these things can crush. All right, first throws with these, I gotta say, all 3 of these pretty much ended up in the same spot, which was kind of interesting. All right, next flight we're gonna do with these is we're gonna put these on a little bit of a Hyzer. Let's see if we can get them to pop up and glide for some extra distance. Like I said, these 3 are kind of similar. The other 2 are a little bit flippy, so we should get different results. All right, let's start out with that sick Duo Mamba. All right, just ever so slight flip up out of that. Yeah, that's interesting. Now, metal flake plastic is usually the more overstable plastic. Before there was Halo plastic, if you wanted something super overstable, you went with metal flake. So that's kind of interesting why that Mamba, even though it's -5, really isn't getting a lot of turn out of it. Now let's try the Star. There we go. We're getting a little flip up out of it. Still holding that angle. All right, pretty cool. So that's more of like a -2 flip up that we got out of it, and it still held it all the way to the end. So definitely not a -5. Now the Halo. Yeah, very similar to the Star one, maybe a touch more on the overstable side. Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I'd think that that was a destroyer the way it's flying. All right, now let's go to the flippy guys. First up is the Glow. There we go. That's more of what I expect a Mamba to flip up to flat. Yeah, and still had a nice, reliable finish. Yeah, so far out of these 5, I gotta say that Glow one is probably flying the closest to what I would want a Mamba to fly like. Now, good old DX. flip up to flat. Yeah, get some turn. Wow, man, right out of the box, flipping up to flat on a Hyzer and just coasting dead straight. These Mambas, they're fun discs. All right, so if you're a Mamba thrower out there, I need to hear your praises. Let me know in the comments, what do you love about the Mambas, and what are your go-to Mambas, and what plastic do you like to throw? All right, before we do our last throws, just to let you know, if I didn't tell you already, these are all in the 171 to 175 range. So we're not talking super lightweight. These are all almost max weight plastics, and we're getting definitely different results out of all these. All right, so we're gonna do a nice Anhyzer shot. Let's see if it holds it all the way to the end, lands nice and flat, or is it just gonna turn and burn into a roller? Let's go with probably the most understable up to what I think the most stable is. All right, most understable so far is the DX Mamba. On an Anhyzer, let's get a good roll out of this one. Oh yes, baby, come on, stand up. Stand up and flip to the right, please. Oh, curled up. All right, maybe a little bit more Anhyzer on that. We would have had a decent roller out of that. Yeah, that's fun. If you're looking for a nice, good, easy to throw disc that potentially could be an out of the box roller, this DX Mamba, legit. All right, next up in stability is the Glow Mamba. Little Anhyzer, holding it, flatten out. Yeah, there we go. So if I wanted to pick up a Mamba, that is exactly what I'm looking for in a Mamba. That Glow one is flying just like I want. It's doing nice flip up to flat shots. It's doing nice long turnover shots, and it's not just turning and burning. This one is legit. All right, next up in stability, I think the Star and the Duo are actually almost identical. But let's go ahead and throw this Star one first. There we go. Now this one should have the stability to fight out. Yep, there we go. Fought out of it. There we go. That's pretty much what I expected. Does hold an Anhyzer, but got enough stability. It's gonna fight out, give you a little bit of a fade at the end. All right, now the Duo. This one should be pretty similar to that Star guy. Yep, holding it, fighting out at the end. So the Star and the Duo, I gotta say, almost identical flights. So if you couldn't find yourself a Duo Mamba, go ahead and pick yourself up a max weight Star. They fly almost the same. All right, now the most overstable one, I think, is the Halo Mamba. There we go, holding it, fighting out just a touch quicker and getting to the ground. All right, guys, I gotta say, I might have been joking about guys throwing Mambas, but these things are fantastic. No matter what arm speed you are, you can find one that's gonna fit your arm speed. Whether you're looking for a nice flippy one like a DX Mamba, or maybe a nice middle of the road Mamba, pick yourself up a Glow one. Can't go wrong with the Star ones, but if you need a nice kind of overstable Mamba, go get you a Halo one. We got a lot of these over at Disc Golf Deals USA. You can check them out over there. All right, I hope this video helped. Till I see you guys next time. Peace out.